Hey everyone, thanks for checking out our video. And before we jump in, I want you to consider two things. First is subscribe to the channel. Second, find Building and Becoming in our link list, click on it, and start your 7-day free trial to our Skool community. Okay, on to the lesson. Hey everybody, welcome back into the mindset course in our Building and Becoming classroom. Today we're going to talk about priorities. And like I always say, what is written is retained. So what I'd like you to do is grab a pen, grab your journal, because I need you to write these down. 7 steps to developing life-giving priorities. All right, I like to use the number 7. I like to give you nuggets, bullet points. So here we go. Number 1 is self-reflection. So we need to determine for ourselves what truly matters. What's your one big dream? We talk about in Building and Becoming to not have a whole pile of dreams that you're chasing after, but to have one big dream that you can focus your energy, intention, priorities on. Okay. So what is that one big dream? And another question I'd like you to ask yourself as you're sitting in your reflection time, what would you like to achieve if there were absolutely no limitations? So I'd like to do blank, but if we got rid of the buts, what would that be for you? I think it's important to have whatever that item is line up with your one big dream. We're trying to get everything congruous. So we're going at the same target. Okay. So number 1 would be self-reflection. Number 2 would be it's important to identify your core values. So I talked about this back in our sales and entrepreneurship course. It's module number 5. I encourage you to go back and watch that. There's a lot of good stuff in there, but the core values component of that is crucial. And I'd like you to have an understanding of what we're talking about before you move on through the rest of this lesson. So core values are those non-negotiable drivers of your behaviors. So the things that matter to you more than anything. Your priorities, the reason it's important to know these core values is your priorities are going to be driven by those core values. That way you're in perfect personal alignment. I'll give you what mine are. And I write these down and I post them so I see them. So when I'm making decisions, asking myself how to adjust my priorities and energies and where my focuses are, I ask myself, does this line up with these core values? So mine, faith, personal excellence, honesty, integrity, discipline, accountability, and what I like to call outrageous generosity. So number 2 would be identify your core values. Number 3, write down how you're currently spending your time and track it for a week. Okay, what does that look like? So in your journals, that's where we're putting all of our notes from our coursework. In your journals, just write down what you're doing with your day. And don't get overly into the weeds about this, but we're trying to get a really good overview about what you're doing with your waking hours. So for me, I got up this morning. I got some coffee. I went in, I had my devotional time. Then I worked for about an hour. Then I came down and trained for an hour. So mine would be from this time to this time, Devo time. Then work from this time to this time, lifted weights, this time to this time. Went upstairs, did some more work, had breakfast. I left and ran a few errands. So I would be writing down what those times are. And it can be a little bit arduous. There's a lot of work that's involved in this, but it is worth it. Do this for a week. So you get a solid feel for Monday through Sunday, what you're doing with all of your minutes. Number 4 is write down where you're currently spending your money and track that for a week. Now that one's a little more, that'll bump you, won't it? So have I spent any money today? Yeah, I did. I ran a couple errands and spent some money at the store. So I would write down, $32 at Target on groceries or whatever it might be. If you go out for dinner, write that down. Whatever you're spending your money on. I got $30 worth of gas in my car, paid my life insurance. Whatever you're doing with money, write it down and track it for a week. And you might even find life in tracking it for a little bit more than a week. 3 is write down how you're currently spending your time. 4 is write down how you're spending your money. Those 2 are going to show you what's currently important to you. Because if you follow somebody's checkbook and you follow them around and see what they're doing with their time, you're going to know what's important to them. And time and money, your 2 greatest assets. Number 5 is prune. Okay. So after that week, we need to look at those 2 journals that we kept. So the time and the money. We need to prune from both of those lists in order to free up both of those. We have to free up some time. We have to free up some money because we need to reallocate both toward achieving that one big dream. So people who say, I don't have time or I don't have money, what they really mean is that those assets that they already have, they've just decided to allocate them in ways that aren't life-giving and aren't helping them achieve. So they've misallocated those two assets. We're trying to fight against that. So number 5 would be prune, and then look how you can reallocate those assets. Number 6, super important, develop an accountability partner or plan. If you're in building and becoming, and you're watching this, you more than likely are, or you've seen it on social media and you're considering joining a group, I encourage you to do so because that's where the accountability piece can come in. You need to develop an accountability partner or plan. Become an open book. Be transparent. Have scheduled weekly meeting times with somebody that you can say, let's meet for 15 minutes. Let's have coffee. Let's talk on FaceTime, whatever it might be. And you talk to them about how your priorities are going and if you're in alignment with your one big dream. Number 7, do a regular review and reflection. Evaluate what's working, what isn't working, make those necessary adjustments, okay? Because this isn't just we write it down once, these are my priorities and I'm just going no matter what. We do need to be able to pivot. We need to understand that a game plan is great, but once you're in the heat of battle, you might need to make some adjustments. One of the largest separators in life is aligning our priorities with our dream. Okay, please write that down. We're trying to be separators from the masses of people that we're in competition with and masses from the person that we used to be. We want to be separate from the person we used to be. We want to separate ourselves and operate as our future selves. Does that make sense? One of the largest separators is aligning our priorities with our one big dream. Cool? I hope you guys got all that. So until next time, let's grow.